You'll be learning how the hormones insulin and glucagon, which are both produced by the pancreas, help to keep a constant blood glucose level. Try to keep in your mind about why this is important. Obviously the glucose is your body's fuel, and you'll be surprised at how very low levels of it we actually have circulating in our blood. You'll also then go on to plot a line graph and annotate it to show how different life events affect your blood glucose levels. Right, so this is all based around your iBook, around about page low 50s there. There is a section here, this section here is the same, but it's in foundation. You need to focus on this. So just to give an illustration of how small an amount of glucose that you have circulating in your body at any one time, we have about 5 grams in the bloodstream as a whole, so approximately 1 gram per litre. Okay, have a look at a food label. Have a look on there. Look at the carbohydrate content of something, and think about the huge amounts of glucose that are going to go into your bloodstream, and the hard work that your body's got to do to keep that constant. So as I said, 1 gram per litre, a tiny amount. Right, so it's all about balancing out your blood glucose levels. On one side you've got the food that you eat, so obviously when you eat food and digest it, you absorb the carbohydrates into your bloodstream and your blood glucose will go up. And when you exercise, through carrying out more respiration, you will consume more glucose, or your cells will burn up more glucose there. So when you eat food, blood glucose levels can go up, and when you exercise, they are going to fall. Okay, so we'll look first off, the most obvious one. When you eat food, your blood glucose levels go up. This is detected by your pancreas, which is this leaf-shaped organ, just sits underneath the stomach, so it helps digest your food, but it also controls your blood glucose levels. And when it's stimulated by the excess of glucose, it releases the hormone insulin into the bloodstream. So it travels into the bloodstream all the way around your body, but its signal is picked up by the liver, and so it binds to the liver cells, and this causes them to take glucose out of the bloodstream, and what it does is it joins them together into a large molecule called glycogen. And of course, by removing the glucose from the bloodstream, that should bring the levels back down to normal, and of course you've got a store of glycogen in there. Right, so the first thing I'd like you to do is to do a flow chart whereby you are describing what goes on, and you will do the opposite underneath here. So let's go back to the explanation. Right, so that's what happens when your blood glucose levels go up. So just remember, this is negative feedback, so if it goes too high, your body does something to bring it down, and now we'll look at what happens when it goes too low and your body does something to bring it back up again. So if you exercise, obviously your blood glucose levels fall as you're carrying out respiration. Again, the pancreas acts, but this time it releases a different hormone, the rather unfortunately named glucagon. And what the glucagon causes is it causes the liver to take all of that stored glycogen, break it down into glucose, and release it back into the bloodstream. So of course this causes the blood glucose levels to go back to normal. So first task for you to do is to complete a diagram like this. So you'll have on the other side blood glucose levels falling, pancreas releases glucagon, the liver breaks down the glycogen and releases glucose into the bloodstream, which takes it back to normal. Right, the second thing I would like you to do, I would like you to produce a graph which explains, you're going to plot this data where you have the time along the bottom and the blood glucose levels along the side. So you plot all of this data, it'll come out something like this, and then I want you to annotate it. So for instance, they're in order, so it's pretty easy. So eating breakfast cereal, which caused it to go up, insulin released by the pancreas caused it to go down, walking to school, so exercising, so you get the drift there. So plot the graph. Doesn't matter if you haven't got graph paper, doesn't have to be too precise, but it's linking the exercise, the food, the insulin and the glucagon, and what effects that each of those have on your blood glucose levels. Okay, so that's two things today, the diagram and the graph plotting exercise. And that will have the lesson objectives met. Okay, you will do work next time will be on when this goes wrong. So basically we'll be doing work on diabetes next lesson.